Before we start, let me remind you about the Kenobi lightsaber giveaway that is still going. It ends on June the 6th. All you have to do is subscribe to my channel and comment your favorite Star Wars moment under my Kenobi lightsaber review video. Good luck! Now let's get to the episode 3 of Kenobi series. My oh my, what an episode it was. Now I'm not saying that I loved all of it, but most of it was really good. And I'm here to talk about the good, bad and the ugly. The episode starts with Obi-Wan meditating, trying to reach Qui-Gon again. Once again he fails to do so. Instead, he is unbalanced. Mind seems to be occupied by what Reva said to him. That is that Anakin is still alive and what has become him. We get a better look at how Darth Vader gets into his suit, and I really love that sequence. Vader in this episode looks absolutely menacing. Now here comes the part that a lot of people sort of disliked, and that is the Vader's throne room scene on Mustafar. It looks sort of cheap, as if the whole throne room area was from an old video game. I think that's mainly a problem with depth of the scene. Everything looked kinda flat, and if you compare the background to, for example, Mandalorian backgrounds, the difference is huge. Other than that, I love the interaction between Reva and Vader. Sort of gives you a hint of Reva's future, because Vader does not tolerate mistakes, and we all know what happened to Second Sister in Fallen Order. Now, Reva might get out of this alive, but I highly doubt that. I have to say that I wasn't really sold on Leia before, but her whole interaction with Obi-Wan in this episode did it for me. It's written and acted in such a great way, especially when he talks about her reminding him of her mother Padme. You can see the regret and pain he has to live with every day. Now at first, I didn't know who that hooded figure Obi-Wan saw was supposed to be, but it's clear to me now that it was Anakin. Which even deepens how unbalanced Kenobi is after he found out that Anakin lives. He's being hunted, literally by Vader and his Inquisitors, and also hunted by the past of what happened to Anakin. He 100% blames himself for his downfall, even though it wasn't completely his fault. We get a new look at Inquisitor's Keep, which appeared in Fallen Order, and the sheer size of it is just incredible. Now the internal power struggle between Inquisitors is interesting, but I'm not really that invested in it, until they give us at least a bit more backstory on Reva to really feel her character out. Right now she is power hungry, reckless and cocky, which is nice, but without any significant backstory, her character feels a bit flat. Now before you hunt me down, I know she is supposed to be like this, and this is in no way an attack on the actress. Moses Ingram is doing a great job portraying Reva, so put out your torches and hide away your pitchforks. It was interesting to see Freck, basically an alien race, being sympathetic to the Empire, because it really puts things into perspective and shows that maybe the Empire wasn't all that bad. I mean, mostly they were bad, but on some planets and for some people or aliens, they seemed pretty chill. Now the only thing I sort of didn't get here is why Obi-Wan would try to open up the gate instead of going around it. If he would take the transport then sure, but he didn't. Honestly, it's a small nitpick, but I feel like we shouldn't be blind to those just because it's our favorite character. The show has few mistakes, and I'm not saying that it's bad because of those mistakes, but they are here, and we sort of have to acknowledge it in order to improve on the Disney Star Wars series in the future. Now Quinlan was being mentioned was a nice surprise, even though it was very brief. For those of you who don't know him, Quinlan was a male Kifar Jedi Master who lived during the final days of the Galactic Republic and survived Order 66. He wasn't exactly a typical Jedi, more likely a maverick who would often break rules of the Jedi Order to achieve his goals. This was greatly highlighted when he worked with Kenobi during Clone Wars, his personality clashing against Obi-Wan's sort of strict and moral character. The arrival of Vader to the village where Kenobi and Leia were hiding was brutal. You could see how shaken Obi-Wan was. He definitely felt the presence of his former apprentice, and brother, now corrupted and turned into a demonic cyborg Darth Vader. It was as if he was completely frozen in place, unable to think straight for a few moments. And honestly, Vader was an absolute menace. Never thought I would see this kind of violence in Star Wars. It also shows how terrified the galaxy was in presence of Darth Vader. And rightfully, I would be as well had a 2-meter tall cyborg dressed in black walked near me. Seeing Vader igniting his lightsaber only for Obi-Wan to go, "Nope, I'm not doing this," was both iconic and funny as hell. It's understandable why he didn't want to fight Darth Vader. First of all, he was rusty after 10 years of not using his lightsaber, and second of all, his mixed feelings towards Anakin, or Vader, surely would cause him to lose. So he decided to run. And this is where my main problem with the choreography and editing of the final quarter of the episode comes from. I don't believe for a second that Vader, in a freakishly heavy suit, was able to outrun and sneak up on Obi-Wan. That is if he didn't learn how to teleport. But honestly, that's the biggest issue of this chase/duel. Because if I remember correctly, last time we saw Vader fighting against someone with a lightsaber in live action was in Return of the Jedi, which was 39 years ago. We have waited 39 years for this moment, and it was glorious. Vader was an unstoppable force, dealing heavy strikes, fueled by anger and hate towards his former master, who he saw as the single reason for what he is now. As he said, he is what Obi-Wan made him. And that line, that single line, was probably the best thing out of this episode. I loved it. I loved how Obi-Wan was scared, how he felt regret, and how he didn't really want to fight his former apprentice brother. Now, the last part of their duel was something a lot of people had problems with, and so did I, to be honest, at first. But then I realized that Vader didn't want to kill Obi-Wan. Yet, he wanted him to suffer, experience the pain he experienced on Mustafar. So Obi-Wan got roasted again, first time from Owen and now from Vader himself. But why did he let Obi-Wan go is the big question. Because he could have put out the fire again, but decided not to. My theory is that he saw Kenobi as an unworthy opponent at this time. He wanted to beat him at his full power. Vader wanted to prove himself, erase the defeat that has been eating him alive for the past 10 years. And that old beaten man that lied before him, that wasn't Obi-Wan Kenobi. That was his ghost. And he wasn't worthy of being bested by Darth. Will we see them duel again later on? We still have 3 more episodes left, and I'm really curious to see where they will take us. Will the Grand Inquisitor return during those episodes? Will Cal Kestis appear? Let me know what you think in the comments. And once again, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time, and may the Force be with you.